Hi, this is a video for all you YouTube atheists, I guess, or theists. Um, yeah, a while ago I watched a few more videos from Hovind, and I found one that exemplifies what I'm thinking about now. I'm not talking about why Eric Hovind's argument makes him right. He's not right. I'm an atheist. On the other hand, I think that Eric is an effective apologist. People are always trying to think when you're arguing that you're trying to prove the right argument. Here's the structure of my argument, and it proves itself. But what you're doing when you debate and argue with people, that you have a difference of opinion, is you're trying to prove their ideas inconsistent and show that your ideas are consistent. That's it. You can't convince somebody. It's the whole thing of like, if there's no absolute moral, what about stealing? How do you know it's wrong? Well, I think of this relativistically. So imagine I am arguing with someone that believes stealing is okay. What I would be trying to prove is that their thoughts are inconsistent, that they don't really believe that. That's just a convenient thing they say. For example, do you think it'd be okay if I went into your house and, took your bed? No, that belongs to me. Okay, well, your idea is inconsistent. And you'll find most people that are advocating stealing are just advocating that they want to do it. They don't like getting stolen from. And most thieves don't even waste time trying to say stealing's okay. They just say they'll do it. So Eric is going into this with this in mind, and he has a couple good rhetorical things, and he tells his talks are telling other Christians how to do this. This is the guy that was arguing with Thunderfoot, remember? And so he got Thunderfoot in the exact position his apology is designed to do. So you could decide for yourself if his goal of making atheists say they don't even think the universe is for sure exists. That's his goal, and he has a system where he can easily do that. And the more educated you are, the better. Now I was saying Thunderfoot should go the I perceive, therefore I am route. But if he wants to use something more classical and doesn't want to have to think that through in his own, not his favorite subject or something, he could at least use Descartes' Meditations, I think, therefore I am. There's problems with that. I think, therefore I am. For one thing, it says I think, and we don't know the result of thinking. It begs questions of will and stuff. But it's plenty good enough for that conversation to have a basis to say, yeah, I think, therefore I am. I know I exist. And we go, but could it all be illusion? And then you're going to go, well, yeah. That's why you're better off saying I perceive, therefore I exist. Because then you don't have to separate your thinking and being from perception. You put existence right in perception, and then they go, well, couldn't all your perceptions be illusion? And then you can say the truth, which is, if that were the case, then yes, science would be abstracting the pattern of that illusion. It would still be reality. We'd be discovering the pattern of our universe, which happened to be a universe of illusion. That is pretty much what's happening. That's why we keep looking and keep getting more information, because that's how an illusion works. You can decompose it and get information out of it. Never is totally free of there being an elusive part. And think about that word, elusive, illusion. It's not like things are illusions forever. That's not what the concept means or how it works. So Eric he criticizes atheist dogma on the same kind of grounds that I criticize classical objective epistemology, and this is one of the ways of putting why I criticize that epistemology is because it's open to this kind of attack. I find it interesting. Eric realized something I find true, at least metaphorically, but I think there's a somewhat literal side to it, that believing in absolutes is a belief in God. And part of his technique is exploiting the fact that people like Thunderfoot do believe in absolutes. Thunderfoot is not being honest when he says he can conceive of the universe not existing. He hasn't tried to conceive of that. He doesn't believe that that's sensible. He wouldn't take someone seriously that was taking that seriously. They do believe in absolutes, and you can see it later on when they're saying, well, carbon dating has these problems, but, and it might be off by 1,000,000 years, but you should believe it because look at all this thing. It's the best we have to go. And it's like, but the universe might not exist. It doesn't jibe with that, right? And we could do better. So another really good thing, debate warrior style, is that Eric has realized that I think apologists haven't realized for quite a while. You can't collect evidence to conclude the Bible. That isn't how the Bible is constructed. It's not the right grammatical form. It's meant to be the principal starting point. It's odd because this is so many human biases and all that written down, but it doesn't matter. It's like the human mind can clean the slate, create something out of what it had from the past, as if it's just a priori starting point. So Eric's like this. He's like, look, as soon as you're talking about the evidence to support the things the Bible says, you've got it wrong, because the Bible is the source of knowledge for a Christian. And he has various ways to just not entertain being put in this position of trying to come up with evidence that proves the Bible. Now, from a Lakoff standpoint, with cognitive science and framing, the reason that is the case is because when you start talking about evidence, the question has become one that invokes a scientific and rational framing. Now, religious people have that. They try to work out puzzles and in their life, and literally, but also just figuratively things, right? They use their rational facility. You invoke the frame of rationality in a person like that, suddenly they're using that. And that is like talking about tax relief. If you use the word tax relief, you bring in a frame where tax is a malady. You only ask if you want relief from something that at least is grammatically put into that frame as the malady. So it loads the dice on any question about what should you do with taxes. So evidence for the Bible puts the Bible in as a theory, and it's not meant to, for Christians, be a theory. So rhetorically, that's very smart. Now, it's not super rational reason to keep the Bible, but you have people already believing in the Bible. And rhetorically, it's going to make them argue much better if they have that attitude, especially if they have ways to address the questions. And Eric does. Eric is like, he's familiar with a lot of the standard kind of atheist points. So, why would, a perfectly good God cause famine and starvation among people? Allow it to happen. Actually create it. And Eric, among Christians, he has answers. In Sunday school, they chit-chat about that. Why things work that way. But to an atheist, this is part of the reasoning that he would reject. And he would exploit the fact that he would say, well, what's the matter with that? He would get the atheist to explain what was the matter with that. And when the atheist then struggles, Eric then starts making the atheist struggle, and then when the atheist is struggling and realize there is no a defense for that stuff happening in nature, then he'll reinvoke the biblical Christian version of this, of God's mysterious ways, and not questioning God and things like that. And God can do with it. Life to God is different than life to us, and all of this stuff. And it's just a dodge, granted. But what else do you think is debating with a theist is? Why do mostly people that are recovering theists want to do it? It's like, so yeah, that matters. Plus, there's a valid part. Now, he is defending classical epistemology, and he thinks that that implies God, and I kind of agree. These sui casus a priori ideas are, the history is obvious. They come from concepts of God, people that were still Christian and stuff, but wanted to think more abstractly, more mathematically, and they ended up with some abstractions, though, that carried along these ideas. And this is a truth that Eric can exploit rhetorically. And again, you could disagree with me that, no, he looks like an idiot. Well, I think if you're sitting there going, it's conceivable the universe doesn't exist. And Eric knows how to get this out of atheists in general. And the more scientific, the more they know just the dabbling of the Western epistemology, they'll have this, well, you just have to assume. Because the skeptics, nobody ever beat the skeptics. The skeptics are the current winners on what's knowable. And nobody has ever really explained how we go ahead and know things anyway. Except for the skeptics, but everybody's ignored that part. The skeptics said you go with what seems to be the case, and that's a constantly changing state. So I wish I had made this sooner to when I watched it, because there were some other points in there. But I really would be interested for other people to see him. I'll try to put the link to the video I'm thinking about, but in general, he has a certain genre to his spiel, so you could probably see it anywhere, but I'll put the link if I can research it up, because it's very effective, and people have to remember that this is for Christians to make Christians not become un-Christian. It's for people that are toying with the idea, which only includes people that already have some notion of it. So this is not about taking somebody like from another culture that's never heard of religion and converting them. This is like, do you see what I'm saying, fellow Christians? This guy doesn't even know the universe exists. If you give up God, you're going to become like that. You don't see the effect of that, guys. Anyway, but I also found it interesting because it was it's not exactly the same argument. You can classify it if you want, just to trivialize, and of course it's religious arguments. I could trivialize it myself, but the thing is, like it's a God of the gaps thing, but that's where God is supposed to go, in the gaps. Where else? Anyway, cheers.